All right, sir, you're Lively Stratton?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is 19-33601. Mr. Stratton is charged with capital murder of multiple persons. Mr. Radford has filed a writ asking for a bail reduction. I think we talked about this and reset it so that the state could bring any witnesses, and then I would make my decision. Mr. Radford, do you have any witnesses?
Yes, we call Lively Stratton for the purposes of this hearing only.
Best you can, sir. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Radford.
Can you state your name for the record?
Lively Shade.
And Mr. Stratton, you are the defendant in this case, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And what is your bond currently set at?
I think, after the appeal, I don't think my bond was ever set.
So it's your understanding that you have no bond at this time?
Yes, sir.
What was your bond set at prior to your trial?
I think it was $1 million bond.
Okay, and prior to this incident, have you ever been convicted? Well, you hadn't been, this conviction was overturned by the Court of Criminal Appeals, correct?
Yes, sir.
And prior to this incident, were you ever convicted of any crimes?
No, sir.
Where did you live at the time?
In Beaumont.
In Beaumont, and did you have a job?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how long have you been incarcerated?
Going on 7 years.
7 years? So do you have any substantial savings or any monies that you have collected?
No, as far as my bond, everything would be, no contributions from like friends and family.
If the judge were to set a $250,000 bond, do you think it's possible that you had family members and friends that could make that amount?
It'd be a stretch, but I think it'd be possible.
Pass away.
Any questions?
Mr. Patton, tell me about the needs that your family has. What do your parents do? What kind of assets do they have? What kind of income do they have?
Well, my mom, she gets Social Security disability. My uncle, he's been a professor for the last 30 years. So, I'm pretty sure he's got, a good amount like saved up, in travels and stuff like that.
Do your parents own their homes?
No, man.
Do they have cars? Does your uncle own his home?
He probably does as well.
And he's a professor at Lamar?
No, he, lives in another state.
So would you agree with me that amongst the members of your family, you have considerable means to try to post a bond?
I wouldn't even say considerable because I mean, my uncle is really like kind of tight as far as his money wise. So it'd just be an if, even if he feels like doing it for me.
I don't have anything for you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Any other witnesses?
That's all I have, Judge.
Ms. Melfino?
Judge, I will call Detective Coffin.
Good morning, sir. Would you please
Morning.
raise your right hand?
Yes.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Go ahead.
And before beginning, Judge, I ask the court to take judicial notice of the trial that you presided over some years ago, which gave you obviously a very good insight into the totality of the circumstances and the facts involving this case, and that there were 4 victims of this case. So just ask Detective Coffin, would you state your name for the record?
My name's Frank Coffin.
And were you one of the lead detectives on the case State versus Lively Stratton?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
And that involves the homicide of 4 individuals here next to Lamar campus here in Beaumont, Jefferson County.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were involved heavily in the trial process preparation, et cetera, and you know what came before the court. Is there anything that you would like to add for Judge West's consideration with respect to a bond being set for Lively Stratton?
Well, Judge, I don't know that I nor Beaumont has seen a murder like this before, where 4 people were gunned down so close to a college campus, so carelessly, so quickly. And I can't recall anything like that before. So I think that it in itself states that's a significant event as far as murder is concerned.
Detective Coffin, based on all of your years of training, experience, investigation of homicides, et cetera, do you feel like Lively Stratton presents a significant threat to the community of Beaumont if he is released?
Significant threat.
And do you feel like they're based on the totality of all these circumstances, there's a great likelihood of his flight if he is released from custody?
I would imagine that there would be, if, knowing what he's faced with, knowing the amount of time that he'd already been sentenced to prison, the time that he can be sentenced again, there's no upside, to not leaving.
I don't have anything further, Judge, unless the court does from the detective. I just have a couple of statements for argument.
Okay, no, thank you, sir.
Judge,
Oh, you
yeah.
have to ask questions, I'm sorry.
Detective Coffin, you testified at the trial, is that correct?
No, I
You
didn't.
did not. Did you observe the trial?
I did.
Okay.
Well, no, I did not. I'm
So you
sorry.
didn't watch the trial and you didn't testify at the trial?
No.
The cross exam lands a clean hit. You didn't watch the trial, you didn't testify, you don't know the verdict details. That doesn't erase the seriousness of the case, but it does undercut how confidently the detective can speak about specifics.
Judge, I would ask for a bond in this case that is equal with what the facts of this case are, with the fact that we have 4 homicide victims. I think an ask of $250,000 is extremely low. I think it's offensive to the court to ask for a number like that for all 4 individuals, maybe $250,000 per individual. So that's back at the $1 million bond that he was originally set on. The court, unfortunately, is required to set bond on multiple murders in Jefferson County on a quite frequent basis these days. And I think something in excess of $1 million is more than a reasonable ask in this case.
Thank you, Ms. Malvina. Mr. Radford.
Judge, I would point out that the jury did find that there was evidently self-defense in 2 of the victims and that there was an error in the charge and that a new jury may find a different result based upon a new jury charge that should have been propounded to the jury. I think that the court should set a reasonable bond in this case.
All right, so taking into account the testimony of the prior trial that I did preside over and argument by counsel, I'm going to grant the writ and set bail. I am going to find that bail in the amount of $1 million is appropriate for the nature of this offense and in line with
That's the court saying, I'll allow the legal possibility of release, but I'm building a cage made of conditions. GPS and house arrest aren't just add-ons, they're the court's safety valve. Viewers, does GPS house arrest make you feel safer about release, or does it feel like a false sense of security?
what I know about the case and the argument. What if there was bond made, there would be a GPS monitoring device required and house arrest. I would obviously, if that bond was made, need to know what that address would be. And then we will get the case set for an announcement and then move it to the trial as quickly as any you guys are ready to do that.
Do we have a discovery?
And Judge, I do have an update while we're here on it.
Sure.
With respect to discovery, Ms. Mayfield was very diligent in going through what we had, what we were able to locate on some thumb drives that we had made as just a backup in this case. Obviously, with the age of the case, et cetera, the court is aware of some of our hurdles we've had in recreating this massive file. Basically, we've also been working with Detective Coffin and BPD to make sure that we can get everything that is available to us to provide to Mr. Radford. I have done a spreadsheet type itemization of the media that I believe is there. What I would ask so that counsel and I are on the same page and make sure we both have the same things is that he would go through and itemize this in comparison with mine and make sure he can let me know if he feels like there's anything that's missing. I will do the same now with this media itemization. I will go through and compare it to the hard copy file itself and cross over and make sure that we're not missing anything, but I do have 2 flash drives to turn over to him today. I also have spoken with multiple family members. And when the court has a little bit of a slower period towards that first part of March, we have meetings set up to meet with the family. I feel like I'm in constant contact. So.
Okay. All right. So yeah, if you guys will go through that, if there's any issues that you need me to get involved with for any reason, just let me know. Do you anticipate the time to go through some of that to get closer to where we need to be longer? You want to do a little longer?
Yes,
recent?
ma'am. I've got 2 big trials coming up in Orange, one at the end of this month and one at the end of February.
What I'll do is 60 days and let's just see where we get, start going through that media.
We do the end of March. I'm going to be gone in April.
whatever 60 days
I'll
is,
get
or
with Kelly.
make sure you have a vacation letter
I will.
on file, and we'll work around that.
Thank you.
And start going through it in the meantime, so that when we get here, you've at least gone through and we know better where we are on the media and the discovery and things like that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank you, Judge.
all right, you can go back with the bailiff. Thank you, Detective. And I don't have an order. If you can, send an order over, please. This is just for me to remember. Yeah, I don't know if it's all when in April, we'll just have to say, you know. Lori also has, if he wants to run down while she doesn't have Erica over there. Oh, guards is, okay. See, Mr. Rojas, you have Brian Trejo, it's a bond hearing.
Come on.
Good morning, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Good morning, are you Brian Trejo?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is 26 BCCR 0132. Mr. Trejo is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Mr. Rojas has filed a motion asking that I reduce bond, which is currently set at 300,000. And, Mr. Rojas, you may proceed.
So, Mr. Trejo, Your Honor.
Mr. Trejo, raise your right hand the best you can. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You can, proceed.
Could you state your name for the court, please?
Sir.
What's your name?
Brian Trejo,
And Brian, how old are you?
18,
And where are you originally from?
Galveston.
You were born in Galveston?
Yes, sir.
Where do you live now?
Port Arthur.
You lived your whole life in Port Arthur?
Yes, sir.
Okay, who do you live with?
My parents.
Your parents, and your parents started together and they're here today, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Sorry, say that again?
they're here today, or his parents are here today. Who else lives in the house with you?
My brothers, my siblings.
And a lot of them are here today also. Brian, you know, your bond right now is $300,000. Your family's having a hard time coming up with the money for that bond, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I want to talk about you personally. Do you own any property in your name?
Yes, sir.
A home, a car, any land or anything like that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a bank account in your name? Okay, my understanding, and tell me if I'm wrong, your parents own the house that they live in, right?
Yes, sir.
And it's already paid off?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And they're willing to help you out as far as trying to get you, get some money for the bond if we can get
Yeah.
forward. Have you ever worked?
Yes, sir.
What kind of work have you done?
I work with my mom.
Doing what?
She cleans apartments, offices, houses.
Okay, is that the only kind of work you've ever done?
No, the yards. I've done construction.
You did construction, with a company or working with a family member or? what?
Yeah, family.
Okay. And all that kind of work, the construction work, cleaning offices, is that work that's still gonna be available to you if you're able to make a bond?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that's, something you want to get back out and start
Yes,
working
sir.
to help pay for the bond if we're able to get it lower.
Yes, sir.
This is a serious charge, right?
Yes, sir.
Is this, you're only 18, is this the first time you've ever been arrested?
Yes, sir.
Even as a child, you have any, juvenile cases? As a juvenile, were you arrested?
Yes, sir.
For what?
Unlawful carry.
Okay. And you're asking the court to lower the bond. We're asking for a $50,000 bond. I think that'll be enough, and along with any, if the ankle monitor or any kind of other conditions that the court wants to put on it. You're asking the court to do that, set that, and you think that's a reasonable bond, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll pass it with Mr. Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Rojas. Any questions?
What else were you arrested for as a juvenile?
Is it
Drug case?
possession of marijuana?
Yeah.
Speak up, please.
Possession of marijuana?
Thank you.
And what kind of weapon were you carrying when you were arrested as a juvenile?
Um,
Was it a handgun?
yes, sir.
And that's what you're charged with here is for shooting somebody. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Another question, Your Honor. Oh, sorry. What happened in the jail Saturday or Sunday?
Oh, I had got on the phone. Well, somebody passed me the phone, not knowing. Well, I didn't know somebody else was in line. Well, they forgot somebody else was in line. And while I was on the phone, somebody just came up and started punching on me.
The write-up was from the 8th, Your Honor, so you may not have had a chance to see it before court.
Okay, thank you.
I'll pass those.
All right, anything else?
No further question.
Any other witnesses?
No, yeah.
Mr. Rojas, go ahead.
Yeah, Judge, I understand this is a serious allegation. He's a young offender and obviously the handgun gives concern, both two different cases with handgun, and I understand the court's concerned with that. He's a lifelong resident of Port Arthur. He's not gonna flee. He's doesn't have anywhere else to go. His family lives here. They own property. They own a home that they live in. They're not gonna go anywhere. We think if you set the bond at $50,000, that's something the family will be able to make. And if it's at $50,000, they also, I would imagine the court's gonna want an ankle monitor on this, and that's something that allows them a little bit money to pay for the ankle monitor as well. You can set it at $50,000. And that's what we're asking the court to do.
Thank you, Mr. Rojas. Mr. Nichols?
I don't feel that $50,000 is sufficient to protect the community for someone who's been arrested for carrying a gun and is accused of having shot somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning. The allegation in this case is that he and some other individuals followed a young woman home from her place of business where she worked as a waitress and were harassing her, and then ended up shooting her boyfriend who confronted them. So I think $50,000 is quite low and not sufficient enough, Your Honor. I'd ask that you said something much higher.
And I understand those are the allegations, Judge. Obviously, Mr. Trejos has a different story, and I have watched the video, and I don't think that some of the statements the police officers got are not in line with what's on the video, but that's just something that will come out later on. As far as who the actual shooter was.
Okay, but he's not denying that he was in the vehicle,
He was in the vehicle, he was, Your Honor.
the driver.
He was the driver.
Okay. The question is, I guess, and from all y'all's perspective is who was the shooter, but he was
Yes.
the driver.
He was the driver.
So I am taking judicial notice of the court's file, which includes a copy of the probable cause affidavit. The fact, Mr. Trejo, that you've already been arrested as a juvenile, which wasn't that long ago, because you're what, 18 or 17 right now?
18.
18. And I'm not sure what you were doing out at 3:30 a.m. In this situation, but it gives me great concern. Tired of guns, tired of people being shot, tired of it. Jefferson County's tired of it. I'm going to deny the motion. Your bond will remain at 300,000. If it's not already a condition of your bond, I am now making it a condition of your bond. If you make it, that you will be required to wear a GPS monitoring device and be on house arrest. If you're able to make that bond, and we'll reset the case for an announcement and get it taken care of as quickly as we can. You can go back with the bailiff.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, are you Dimitri Oliver? And so Mr. Gertz represents Mr. Oliver and has filed a writ of habeas corpus requesting a reasonable bond. Mr. Oliver is charged with the offense of murder. It is pre-indicted. There's $1 million bond set at this time. And I don't have a file, but I do have the writ, which is number 22-39802. Also, it looks like what's that SO number? Anyway, I have for the record, I do have a copy of the probable cause affidavit and that application for writ. Mr. Gertz, you may proceed.
Judge, first and foremost, this is essentially a cold case. Detective Busby is working on it as a cold case situation. So it's been around. My client has been living in Southeast Texas his whole life, has been here, and I'd like to call him briefly to talk about his personal financial situation for the purposes of the finance aspect of the writ.
Raise your right hand the best you can, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Gertz.
Mr. Oliver, do you have $100,000 in cash? Do you have what were you doing before you were arrested for this?
I'm doing cargo maintenance service delivery for Walmart.
Okay, and you're being paid by Walmart, is that right?
Yes, sir.
What were you being paid an hour?
They give us $100 a day.
$100 a day, so how many days a week would you
We
work?
work 7 days a week.
7 days, so 700,
A week.
okay, so that's $2,800 a month?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you own your own home, free and clear?
No, sir.
Do you understand what I mean by free and
Yes,
clear?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you own any other property that you don't have a lien on or something of that nature?
Yes.
What do you own?
Apartment complex,
Okay.
fourplex.
A fourplex?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What do you owe on that?
I don't own nothing. It's gifted to me.
How much was gifted to you?
Yes, sir.
Was it inheritance?
Yes, sir. It was,
How much is that worth if we were gonna
uh,
estimate?
The last property value I got on it was 68,000.
$68,000. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Do you own any other major things of value? And by that, I mean, stocks, bonds, gold,
No, sir.
Bitcoin, anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay. Does that $68,000 apartment complex, does that generate some type of revenue for you?
Yes, sir.
How much revenue does that generate a month?
2,600 a month.
2,600 a month?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Any other major sources of funding that you were aware of? Okay, good. Judge, I had no further questions about that issue.
Ms. Malvina, any questions?
Mr. Oliver, what is your criminal history?
Being arrested in a motor vehicle and possession of controlled substance.
Was that possession of a controlled substance actually out of this court?
No, it was out of Stevenson's.
Stevens Court.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation for that?
No, nothing.
Were you convicted of that?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
In 2014, 15.
Were you convicted again in 2025?
No,
Between 2013 and now, tell the court what type of trouble you have gotten into.
from 13 on, had a high speed chase. I ain't been in no trouble since then.
That was the evading.
Yes, ma'am. That was it. Yes, ma'am.
I don't have any further questions.
Any other witnesses?
No, Judge.
All right, Ms. Malvina, witness.
I would call Detective Jeff Busby.
Good morning, sir. If you please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Detective Busby, would you please state your full name for the record?
So Jeffrey Busman,
And how are you employed?
City of Beaumont Police Department.
And are you a certified peace officer in the state of Texas?
Yes, ma'am. I'm
And,
a master peace officer.
and are you also assigned to the detective unit?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you the detective or one of the detectives, in fact, the lead, investigating what we have termed a cold case murder involving the suspect Dimitri Oliver?
Yes, ma'am.
The judge has reviewed the probable cause affidavit, but based on all of your investigation and the totality of the circumstances, would you give the court a very brief rundown as to the facts of this offense and what you think would be an appropriate resolution to this bond matter?
Okay, so April 11th, 2013, there was a homicide that took place at Primrose Apartments, 2575 Primrose. From there was different witnesses, but a lot of them didn't want to come forward just because of the nature of the offense. That's what kind of turned this into a cold case because witnesses didn't want to speak on this. And it just prolonged until I picked this up about September of last year. From there, we interviewed witnesses, got eyewitnesses that were now at this point willing to come forward to give me their testimony of eyewitnesses that puts Mr. Oliver there and actually the trigger puller that committed this homicide. That's what, how we got the probable cause affidavit. By speaking to these witnesses, most of them were very scared and fear. That's why they didn't want to come forward. And even after speaking to them 2 or 3 different times, they really were afraid of this man and even considered him evil.
Anything else?
No.
Mr. Gardner, questions?
Detective, is there any physical evidence that you gathered that connects Mr. Oliver to the murder itself?
So there's a lot of evidence that was collected and I'm retesting some of the DNA evidence. Because some of the evidence did have a CODIS hit. It wasn't for Mr. Oliver, it was another person involved. But for that DNA evidence, it was not particularly for the homicide. It was going to be for the stolen vehicle related to this homicide.
Right. Because what happened here was seemingly after the murder, the vehicle was disposed of in a separate location. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. They committed the homicide, stole his vehicle, and within 24 hours dumped the vehicle.
Okay. And the DNA that you found that relates to someone else was from that vehicle. Is that
Yes, sir.
correct? And so have you been able to rule out, you said Mr. Oliver, were you able to rule out the decedent as well from that?
I have been able to rule out Mr. Oliver or the other involved person.
But you said the CODIS hit is for someone else other than Mr. Oliver, correct?
Yes, sir. There was some evidence that didn't get put into CODIS that I'm going to resend and have it put into CODIS to see if we can get hits on that.
Okay.
When I was reviewing this case, they had, I don't know, somewhere 30 to 40 pieces of evidence that was collected that they did swabs on, and not all of it was entered at the time. I couldn't give you a reason why. This is 2013.
Sure. What's the timeline for turnaround on something like that? Do you know?
I'm not exactly sure. We're gonna probably go to a private lab to get it quicker to expedite this, but I couldn't give you an actual timeline.
But I mean, it was unlikely to be within, say, the next 90 days or so. Do you agree?
I don't have a valid opinion on that.
Judge, I don't have anything further.
All right, any other questions?
No, Your
Thank you, Detective.
Thank you.
Judge, may he be excused? He's in SWAT training.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thanks for coming down. All right, anything else?
No, Your
All right, argument?
Judge, we're just asking the court consider a bond in the ballpark of $500,000 to $700,000. That's more than sufficiently high under the circumstances that we have right now, which is just informant-based or witness-based testimony. There's no physical evidence tying him to the crime. And I'm not trying to litigate the crime here. I'm just saying for a situation in which it's, 13 years later, he's still here. He hasn't fled. He's not gone to the Bermuda or something to get away from this. So clearly he doesn't have that consciousness of guilt that would be required or would indicate that he'd be a flight risk. He owns a piece of property here, although it's not valued very high, but he owns a piece of property here. He's been a lifelong resident here. And so we're asking the court to consider reducing the bond to in the ballpark of $500,000 to $700,000.
Ms. Malvino?
Judge, I would defer to the discretion of the court in this case. I do recognize the fact that it's a 2013 offense date and he still apparently is in the area. My concern is the same as with every homicide case. I would just ask the court to take into consideration all of the facts presented before you, both in the probable cause and by Detective Busby, and set something that is commiserate with the other bonds that the court set in Jefferson County for these types of offenses.
Thank you. And I will, for purposes of the record, I have taken judicial notice of the court's file and reviewed the probable cause affidavit. Based on that, the evidence presented, including, some of the limited facts that I have and dates and things like that, I am going to grant the motion or the writ. I'm going to set bond at $650,000. And a condition of that bond, if made, or some conditions of that bond, if made, will be that Mr. Oliver, you be required to wear a GPS monitoring device at all times. And what is your home address? Where do you live?
7290 Willis Line.
7290
Willis.
Willis?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that in both? That's here in
Yes,
Willis?
ma'am.
And then your apartment complex is what address?
4305 Jeanette Street, Beaumont, Texas.
4305 Jeanette
Yes, ma'am.
with a J.
Yes, ma'am.
A-N-E.
Judges say this because witness intimidation doesn't always look like a threat. It can look like a DM, a cousin just checking in, or someone running into you by coincidence. The judge is drawing a bright red line. Cross it, and you're back in jail with an even higher bond.
So I'm going to at least, if you make this bond for some amount of time, also require that you wear that monitoring device and that you're on house arrest. I will allow you house arrest at the Willis Street house. I will allow you to travel to the Jeanette Street address for any required maintenance and things like that. I would need to know more about this job before I agree to that. Just hang on, get with Mr. Gertz. And if there's any specific requests, you can get with Mr. Gertz. He'll get those to me. And if I find that they're reasonable, I'll send that to Ms. Malfino and I will make some adjustments to that.
Yes, ma'am.
But at this point, that's what it is until you talk to him and you get my permission for anything else.
Yes, ma'am.
In addition to those two places, you can also go to Mr. Gertz's office for attorney visits and to court. So until further order of the court, that's it.
Yes.
Okay.
Judge, may I make just one last request?
Yes.
Based on the testimony of Detective Busby and his making the comment that at one point in time, at least witnesses were concerned and possibly are still concerned for their well-being. I will get with the intake division when I take this case back to them and ask them to compile a list of possible witnesses and ask that he be ordered to have no contact with
Yes.
those individuals, and we can plug in that information to the.
Yeah,
GPS.
so I will go ahead and order it now and then we'll fill in the blank on those names. But anyone that you know, even now through word of mouth or on the streets or whatever you've heard of people who were there, who are talking, you are to have absolutely no communication and no contact with them. That's through obviously you seeing them in person, but it's also sending messages on any type of social media or trying to be secret with it. It's also sending messages through other people. No contact, no communication. If there is any of that and I find out about it, you'll be back in jail with a much, much higher bond, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So, don't, make sure you follow all of those rules if you make that bond.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.